So this is day one, and I did have some mu- mu- background noise that I had before I sleep. It was raindrop, rain on the roof, wind on the trees, and thunder. And I just have this because I want to shut off all the external noise, like from the neighbors and shit. So yeah, this is day one. I can't remember where exactly it started, but this is as far as I can remember. There were five of us, and almost as if we were characters from a movie. We had this kind of head teacher ish person that grabbed a girl beside me on my right by both arms and slowly talking to her about something. It was as if he was kind of threatening her. And the person was bald, he was taller than us, he was evil looking, and he obviously had sexual intentions on her. As he grabbed her, I immediately tapped one of the boys to signal that the dude was up to no good. So the bald man was aggravated by this and he looked at me and said something like my physique actually turned him on more, which was very creepy. And it was that was really scary. His face was really scary, and this could have been influenced by the movie that I watched. I think 2 days ago. It's called Overlord. It's a zombie apocalypse movie during the Nazi time, and there was one of the female protagonists that had experienced something like this. She had experienced multiple rape from this one person of power during that time. I He was the main antagonist in the movie, and as it is kind of similar because the woman in the movie also was kind of powerless because she was threatened because they had control of the country or of the area. So it was pretty much the same as in the dream. I then started to run, and as always in the dreams, you run so freaking slow. So it was so hard to move. And at this point, I feel like every time when I get into the running stage in a dream, I start to really be aware that it's a dream. And so yeah, I started being aware that I was dreaming, but as always, I didn't want to wake up. So yeah, that's the kind of person I am. Even though dreams become scary, I actually want to stay asleep more because I want to find out what happens. That's just the way I am. So yeah, I tried my best to not slip out of the dream, and the place was around Osrocks, and it was kind of like, how do I describe it? It's Osrocks, and then there was a Shomai store here, so I ran here, and then I turned right, ran here, and I went another right here, which was leading to the highway. And at this point, I I wanted to turn around because I wanted to fight back, knowing that I can probably make the dream go my way. And but unfortunately, I went into like 80% awake state, so I feel like I was really slipping out of the dream, and I could feel my body, like, that paralyzed feeling where your body is like, it's like there's electricity in your whole body. I felt that in my whole body, and I was so aware that I was already about to wake up that I did not move at all. But eventually, I just slipped out, and I feel like I was really really awake because I felt like my whole body having that feeling, and it wasn't really like I was paralyzed and couldn't move. It was because I chose to not move, but I I really couldn't stay asleep, even though I tried. And I can't remember, but for some reason oh yeah, I did check my phone, I think, and it was around 9:45 a.m. And then I went to pee, and then I went back to sleep again. And this is where the second dream happens, which is kind of amazing because like I don't dream as much. Okay, I have sleep problems, and it's also one of the reasons why I want to do this. So yeah, I can't recall the actual start of the dream. I was with my previous partner, like the only person I've been with, and let's just put him in the letter K because everyone that knows he pretty much knows who he is. So he was in my dream, and I think this was post breakup. I guess I can't recall what happens, but there were things that were happening, school stuff happening, and then I guess we were flirting, and we had this meeting for a show in the art center stage, which is pretty much very common because that's where we do our meetings back when we were in college. And I think like before this event happened, this meeting happened, we were kind of flirting, and there was stuff, I guess, that we were talking and all that shit, but I can't remember. So yeah, we sat in different areas. I guess we were pretending that we were not flirting in the dream. So I mean, that does commonly happen. It did commonly happen in real life back in, like, years ago. So yeah, the meeting started, and it was said that the show was to be held in a few days, and in real life, also we also have a show incoming on October 25, 2019, which I don't know if I'm going or I'm going to participate in, because I'm not just sure, because I've been having a hard time with people lately. So yeah, it also turns out that the show was dated in the dream. The show was dated around 20 to 25, and the one leading the meeting said that it's going to be in 5 days, and it's going to be on a Friday. So I just checked the date of October 25, and it's actually a Friday. But then again, I'm not sure if the person in the dream said Friday or Saturday. After that, I can't remember what happens, and I guess it cut into the other part of the dream. So yeah, I still felt the feeling with K during the dream, but the person was no longer him. It has turned into someone. It's not really. He's not a friend. He's someone that I know. Let's just call him M, which is actually freaking weird because it's so weird. Why would you be in my freaking dream, dude? So yeah, I guess we were kind of flirting, and it's so freaking weird talking about this right now. But at some parts of the dream, we held hands, and we went into this party, and then we separated as he talked to his friends. I also saw my friend, which we will put her as J, and I don't know how, but I was walking towards an upward hill, the place being the Chinese Church Street near the LSUIS building, and I went up, and then I went back down again, and in the church I saw a person who isn't not who is an acquaintance before in college. He is above me, he is older than me. Let's just put him as N. And he was rehearsing some sort of intro for a program. He rehearsed the line once and then twice, and then decided to change the line, but it still sounded bad to me. So yeah, M and I continued to walk around this sort of village. I think it was like, I don't know, it's like a cut, and then we were then walking into this village, some sort of village subdivision. We secretly went inside this big mansion, walking on the sides of the house and eventually ending inside. We were talking, and I can't really recall what we were talking about. I reached out for his hand. I think it was my right hand, and then he held. It was the left, I think, and he held my hand. I don't know what we were saying. Okay, I can't recall. We went outside, and there were already two people on the gate, so we had to sneak on the side, and the two people, and then on the side there were two standing pineapples. So freaking weird. There was two standing pineapples we saw along the way, and we kind of hid behind it because one of the pineapples was a normal size, and the other one was a big sized pineapple, like almost half the human size. I accidentally bumped my feet as we walked, and the big pineapple fell down, and we got caught by the people in the gate. We got their attention. One of the person in the gate was some sort of worker, and the other one was the owner of the place. She was a woman. She was kind of fairly old, I think around 50s. She had white hair, and she got angry. We both apologized, and then at this point, she smiled and let us walk away. I repeatedly was apologizing as we left the place. And from this, I think it was a cut again. And this is the last part, the third part of the sleep. I'm now in a chair, this chair, this chair, and I was in a long street, and we were moving towards something. We were moving forward, and yes, I was strolling. I was strolling in this chair as we walked. I don't know. It almost felt like it was adventure ish, and I seemed to still be with M at this point, but his character disappears along the way. Like he becomes a common character and just becomes insignificant. At the destination was Katagalugan, which was a place, the house of my relatives. I can't remember what we were there for, but I think we stayed there for a bit. Eventually, I went into the bathroom. I think the thought was I peed because we were going to head back out again, which is a very real thing for me. Like every time before I go somewhere, I need to pee, I need to shower, I need to do everything before I leave. So that was kind of the thought of it. We went into the long street again, but this time we were heading to the place where we started, the direction where we started. As we went back, still strolling with my chair, there were some people blocking us, and I guess it sort of becomes a fantasy at this point because we decided to attack the people blocking the way. So we were pretty much like a party at this point, like in an RPG. We were in PvP mode. So it turns out our team gets instantly one shot because the opposing party were OG players and had been playing since day one. So that means they were really strong already. I think part of this stream is referring to being a day one player of Dragalia Lost, which is a game I've been playing for over a month now. So this becomes more evident because the opposing players seem to transform into their dragons, which is a thing in Dragalia Lost, and they started chasing us. It suddenly becomes an action dream. They were chasing us, and it was very cinematic. And the dream shows that they take these shortcuts to approach us at the end of our direction that we're going, so that they can attack us there. Now I don't know if the dream ended there or if I cut my sleep again because I felt half awake hearing the background sound that I play on the speakers, like the one I said from the start, the thunder, the rain, and everything. But it didn't feel like but I did feel like I was already awake before my alarm rang. So I feel like I already was awoken before I even heard my alarm. And that's the end of day one.